without further ado, let's get started. Bit of housekeeping. My name is Mala Reddy. I'm a UK 365 guy. So I'm a specialist in Dynamics 365 CE and Power Platform Consultant, MCSA. That's a certified professional, community contributor, and blogger. Here are my social media icons like LinkedIn, Twitter, and my website. Feel free to get in touch with me. Okay, introduction to Power Platform Dynamics 365 licensing. So Power Platform just consists of Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power Virtual Agent. You can buy license from Microsoft Volume Licensing, or you can buy from Cloud Solution Provider CSP, or you can buy from WebDirect from Microsoft. So the volume licensing have a minimum licensing requirement. So for that one, you need to buy the enterprise agreement and the enterprise agreement subscriptions and server and cloud enrollment. And also for the enrollment for the education solutions for the school agreement and under the campus and the school agreements, yeah. And additional channels you can buy the Microsoft Power Platform is Microsoft Online Government and Microsoft Products and Service Agreement, and the Microsoft Online Subscription Program, which is WebDirect. So there is a multiplexing, which is refers to the use of hardware or software that customers uses to pull connections, and that like reroute information or reduce the number of users that directly access, use the Power Apps or Power Automate or Power Virtual Agent. So multiplexing does not reduce the number of subscription licenses of any type required to access the Power App and Power Automate or Power Virtual Agent. So any device or user that access Power Apps, the Power Automate and Power Virtual Agent must have proper license. The Power Platform and Dynamics 365 have the licensing have the several ways of you can buy the licenses. As I mentioned just now, like you can buy the volume licensing agreement through certified reseller partners. Certain Dynamics 365 services may be available for purchase via pay-as-you-go, which has been announced in last Ignite, which is Azure subscription enables you to pay for what you use and your account billed monthly. So for the Dynamics 365, mixing licenses across different licensing programs. For instance, using volume licensing agreement for one product and a license bought through a reseller partner for another. So on a single tenant is not recommended and could lead to incompatible subscription. So Microsoft products and service agreements may be mixed with enterprise agreements licenses. So there are the Dynamics 365 subscription has two broad categories, which is user licenses and device licenses. What is user licenses? Which grant access for a named user regardless of the device used. So for example, the enterprise license and professional licenses. And however, that an organization may not install both versions of the same environment in same environment. Device licenses which grant access to via certain devices using either assigned and shared logins. The unassigned licenses that provide access to a feature of or service at the tenant level, regardless of the user or device involved. So options includes full application access and cross application access and additional capacity for components such as storage that may be subject to capacity limit. The assigned licenses are like a full user access licenses, which are enterprise licenses and professional licenses. These licenses may not be mixed, so just to make you aware of it here. The standard and enhanced levels, which are the example is sales enterprise and sales premium, which indicates functionality level has to be purchased. The base licenses, for example, base license and there are attached as licenses, which saves a lot of money for the businesses, small, medium, and enterprise businesses. Add any other apps, field service. For example, if you buy a sales enterprise license as a base license, and add any other app like the field service or customer service as an attached license, then you could save a lot of money. Like sales enterprise, which is a base 170-150 in UK, and field service you can attach, which is £15.10. So you could save a lot of money over there. So why is it necessary? Because it reduces monthly bills and yearly license cost. So, for example, if you purchase Dynamics 365 field service, as mentioned just now, and also if you attach a sales app, you could save. Without proper understanding of licensing, will cost a lot of money to organizations implementing the Power Platform if they buy on their own. So make use of Microsoft partners, CSP, or if you are buying in bulk, then you can utilize the volume licensing, or you can just go through the licensing guide, which will be very helpful, if you are in procurement in area to buy the licenses. When it comes to Power Platform, the cost reduction pay as you go is a powerful subscription plan which is implemented by Microsoft. The last Ignite they announced it. So which we'll talk through that in the coming slides. Yeah. So let's go to the next slide. So who is it for? So as I mentioned, that this is the Power Platform and Dynamics 365 is suitable for SMBs and enterprise customers who are going through the digital transformation or any like implementing any pilot projects or any kind of things. So, for example, the digital transformation who wants to streamline the business processes, breaking the data silos using the Dynamics 365 customer engagement or Power Platform or ERP applications. So, for example, the Dynamics 360 CE department, different departments, they're like the sales representative have streamlined the process, like capturing the leads, nurture the opportunity, creating contact account, send a quote, and create order and send invoice. So this is a complete end-to-end sales process. So whoever is digital transformation, so the Dynamics 365 is suitable first-party app. So the enterprise customers, they can save millions of manual work by creating Power Apps. So as you heard many times from Microsoft events, like the Heathrow Airport, they have implemented Power Apps. Samit Sainas, he's working as a security officer, has created a Power App which has saved 11,000 sheets of paper and saved around 288 hours of manual input data. So going from paper to digital has been amazing. So for the Heathrow and across the globe. The super users in the Heathrow Airport, the super users have created 17 Power Apps and continue to using the Power App at the Heathrow Airport. So licensing options. This is where everyone is more interested in terms of Power Platform licensing, because how to utilize these options. The subscription plans best for a business that want to predictable user-based licensing with the flexibility to license users to run one app at a time or run unlimited apps. So there are multiple options, as you can see on the slide. So first one is like the per app per plan, which is $5 per user per app month. So which is run one app or portal per user, and the starting licenses for access to each additional as their needs changes. So requires in order to get this option. So the Power Platform admin center. So to get this one, so the person should have the global administrator and billing administrator role. So this per user per app per month allows individual users to run application for a specific business scenario based on full capabilities of Power App. So next option is the per user plan, which is $20 per user per month, which gives capabilities of running unlimited apps and portals per user for one flat monthly rate. So which also equips users to run unlimited applications based on the full capabilities of Power App. The third one, which is newly introduced, is pay-as-you-go plan. The best for business that wants agility to pay only when a user runs an application during a monthly period. So which going to be like $10 per active per user per month. So which needs Azure subscription to pay per user based on the number of unique apps or portal a user runs each month. So when it comes to Dynamics 365 purchase options, as you can see on the Microsoft website, where you can buy the
Hello there, Mala. We seem to have lost you.
Sorry?
We seem to have lost you.
Can't hear?
We can hear you back now. Thank you. Yes.
Okay, good. So the sales enterprise, which is £17.60, and the subsequent qualifying Dynamics 365 is £15.10. The sales premium, which is Tenet level license, which you have to pay around £101.80 per user per month. The Microsoft relationships, which is Tenet White, which is £108.34. The Power App plan is useful for customers that are just starting out with one or two use cases scenarios before adapting the Power Platform more broadly. So the Power App plan allows individual users to run one custom application, be it a canvas or model, can access one custom portal based on the full capabilities of Power App. Whereas the Power Apps per app plan, entitlement summary. So this one is run the custom applications portals for one app and one portal. If you connect to the data, the standard connectors you can connect, and the premium connectors and custom connectors you can connect. On-premise data gateway, yes, you can connect. And storage and manage data, you can utilize the Dataverse, create and access custom tables, which is including complex tables, and Dynamics 365 restricted tables access, which is read only. This is all for the Power App plans. Yeah. Execute flows, yes, the automated instant schedule flows within Power App context, business process flows within the app context, the per license capacity, which is Dataverse database capacity, which is 50 MB for the Power Apps per app plan, Dataverse file capacity, which is 400 MB. You can infuse AI builder capacity to this Power App per app plan. The Power App per user license entitlement summary as the same as the per user plan. The per license capacity, the Dataverse database capacity is 250 MB, and the Dataverse file capacity is 2 GB. And you can infuse the AI builder capacity as well. Power App user rights included with the Dynamics 365 licenses. So the limited Power Apps user rights are included within the same environment as the licensed Dynamics 365 application to allow the users to customize and extend the Dynamics 365 application. So the users of Power Apps are capabilities included with the Dynamics 365 license must be only within the context of the licensed Dynamics 365 application. The specific user rights vary depends upon Dynamics 365 licensing types. The Power App user rights with the Dynamics 365 application, which includes run custom apps, standalone application, whether it is a canvas model driven app. So which in the same environment as a licensed Dynamics 365 application. So the connect to your data, yes, that are standard connectors they can use, premium connectors, custom connectors, and on-premise gateway. The Dynamics 365 enterprise application users have access to these two. The storage and manage data. They can utilize the Dataverse and also the create and access custom tables, and so they can run CRUD operations on the enterprise application. Execute flows, yes, automated and instant schedule flows, business process flows within the app context, and the enterprise application as well within the app context. So you can infuse AI in both Dynamics 365 application and Dynamics 365 enterprise application. Power App for portal use rights, which is standalone apps user rights within the same environment as licensed Dynamics 365 application. So the last one is related to the Power App user rights included with Office 365 licenses. So there are, as a lot of customers who purchase Office 365, so they can see these Power Apps and Dataverse for Teams. So limited Power Apps user rights included with Office 365 licenses. So they can run the custom app portals. Yes, they can run the custom app Canvas apps unlimited, but they can't run the custom apps, model-driven apps. Access custom portals, no. And the connector data, yes, standard connectors, yes, but premium connectors and custom connectors, on-premise gateway, no. So storage and manage data. Yeah, utilize the Dataverse for Teams, yes, or select Office 365 license only, and utilize the Dataverse for that. No, you can't utilize that with the storage and manage data. Create, access custom tables, including complex tables, no. We come to execute workflows, Power Automate user rights, yes. Per license capacity is not available with the Dataverse database capacity, and Dataverse file capacity not available for the Office 365 licenses. So the Power Apps portals. Power Portal provisioning instance draws 1 GB data, 1 GB from the available unused Dataverse database capacity. So provisioning additional portals instance is only capped by available Dataverse database capacity. So there are two types, like authenticated, which is having two types, external and internal. The external obtains secure access to personalized data by utilizing authentication mechanisms such as Azure AD, B2C, LinkedIn, and Entra etc. So this is use case example like B2B customer partner management. They can utilize this authentic external users. The internal users obtain secure access to personalized data by utilizing Azure AD associated with the Power Apps or Dynamics 365 login. So this is the use case is self-service. And the unauthenticated, which is the access publicly viewable web page powered by portal. So which is useful for the knowledge management sites. The authenticated external users for login provides the authenticated user with access to single portal for up to 24 hours. The multiple login during 24 hours period count as one billing login. So a login can be considered as a day pass, a single Power App portal. So finally the pay-as-you-go licensing using the Azure subscription. So what is it? Pay-as-you-go is a new way to pay for Power Apps using Azure subscription, which allows you to get started building and sharing the apps without any licensing commitments or upfront purchasing. It allows you to share Power Apps with any user in your organization and then only pay it and when they use that app, which is quite well, isn't it? So also use Dataverse storage capacity and provides the flexibility to pay for additional storage as you need it. So some useful so for example, the widely distributed apps use pay-as-you-go plan for apps that needs to be shared within a large user base with infrequent or unpredictable use. So how does it work? In Power Platform Admin Center, you need to link the environment to Azure subscription. So use a Power App or drive storage meter, and also its views, build, analyze cost, set budget and alerts. So what is So this is how you're gonna link that with the Azure subscription. So what is billing policy then? So billing policy creates a link between one or more environments and Azure subscriptions. It contains details of Azure subscription, a list of environments that are linked to the Azure subscription. Okay, let's go to the other slide. Before that, so there is one more bit to add. The So how to try the free trial? So as everyone knows that if anybody is want to try these Power Apps, so there are, as mentioned, 3 types which you can utilize straight away. You can try the per user plan, which is 30 days free trial. So the per app plan, which is $5 per app per month, you can run one app or portal user staking license for access to each additional as they need it. So which needs the global admin and billing administrator role to go for this per app plan within the Microsoft Office 365. The per user plan, which is $20 per month, you can run unlimited apps and portal per user for one flat monthly rate. So you can buy from with credit card as well now, and you can try that. So whereas the third one is pay as you go, which is $10 per active user per app. But you can only use this one if you have Azure subscription in place. So without Azure subscription, you can't utilize this the pay as you go plan. So many organizations they use Azure subscription for various business case scenarios. So for those who are having the Azure subscription, they can utilize this pay as you go plan, or even like enterprise customers, they can utilize this pay as you go plan, which saves a lot of money for the organizations. Yeah, next move to the next slide. The capacity add-on for Power Apps. So the capacity add-ons for Power App, Microsoft Dataverse, the Power App, Power Automate, Power Virtual Agent, Dynamics 365 CE leverage the same tenant infrastructure, Dataverse, the Dataverse capacity, database file, and log formats. Which add-ons does not require allocations at an environment level, instead applied to the tenant level. The capacity add-ons, yeah. So what is purchase? When you buy individual capacity add-ons, you can purchase that and assign the purchased add-ons to environment. Then consume once allocated, you can consume the capacity add-ons, yeah. Subscription capacity. So the Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power Virtual Agent default subscription capacity leverages the same tenant, and the infrastructure will access across one tenant. So every tenant with Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power Virtual Agent will receive default capacity. So in addition, for each Power App per user, Power Automate per user, Power Virtual Agent per user, and the Power Automate per flow plan license, there is additional capacity added to the tenant. So let's look at those things. The Power App default capacity per tenant. So Dataverse database capacity for a default per user, which is 10 GB, and the default per app is 5 GB, and also the accrued user is 250 MB, and accrued per app is 50 MB. So the Dataverse file capacity for the default per user is 20 GB, and default per app is 20 GB. Accrued per user is 2 GB. Accrued per app is 400 MB. So the log capacity is the per default per user is 2 GB, and default per app is 2 GB. So when moving to the Power Automate default capacity, Dataverse database capacity for the default per user is 10 GB. Default per app is 5 GB. Then accrued per user is 250 MB, and accrued per app is 50 MB. So whereas the Dataverse file capacity for the default per app is per user is 20 GB and default per app is 2 GB and accrued per user is 2 GB and accrued per app is 200 MB. So the Dataverse that log capacity for a default per user is 2 GB and default per app is 200 MB. This is for the Power Automate default capacity per tenant. So the customers may have as many flows as needed with a per flow plan. Each flow will increase capacity limits. So let's look at the Power Virtual Agent default capacity per tenant. Dataverse database capacity is for the default per tenant is 10 GB. The file capacity is 20 GB. And finally, the Dataverse log capacity is 2 GB. So as you can see on this slide, the Power Platform Admin Center, you can see this the capacity where you can see that the organizations and how that has been the capacity has been added. So the data allowance for a Dataverse capacity for Power Apps licensed users. So which is the new customers who purchase Power Apps, Power Automate and Power Virtual Agent Dynamics 365 CE first-party apps will receive default tenant-wide entitlement for each of the 3 storage types. As you can see on this image, the slide, the legacy and new, which is having the new one having the database file capacity and log capacity. So an additional per user subscription licensing entitlement. The storage can be purchased in 1 GB increments here. So if you run out of the capacity, you can always add minimum of 1 GB increment. This licensing will not affect the existing customers. The change until the end of their current Power Apps or Power Automate Dynamics 365 application when it is renewed, when you're required. So the benefits are which you can reduce need to free up the storage capacity and scalability with purpose-built storage management solution, ability to manage new business scenario, and also the flexibility to create new environments. So there are 2 versions of storage reporting. One is legacy data capacity model. The another is a new capacity model. What is legacy capacity model? Organization with the previous licensing model for storage. Users with these licenses will see a single capacity for entitlement, which is here on the left hand side. You can see the legacy one. So the storage is all usage and entitlement categories under one label, inclusive of all record types. So whereas the new capacity model, which is organization with a new licensing model for storage, users with these licenses will see the storage capacity entitlement and usage by database and file and log. So the log capacity. So yeah, so you can see this on the slide. The following admin operations won't be available when tenant exceeds the following the storage capacity entitlement. Number 1 is create new environment requires minimum 1 GB capacity, and the second one is when you copy an environment requires minimum 1 GB capacity available, and third one is restore an environment requires 1 GB capacity available. So let's move on to the other slide. The Power Automate licensing model. You can add the Power Automate add-ons and AI Builder and unattended RPA with this Power Automate licensing model. As you can see on the slide, there are 3 types of the licenses, which is license by user, per user plan, which is $15 per user per month, which allows individual users to utilize their processes and create unlimited data flows based on their unique needs. And also the limited time available offer is licensed by user per user plan with unlimited unattended RPA, robotic process automation. which is $40 per user per month, which allows individual users to analyze their processes and create unlimited cloud flows plus automate legacy applications through RPA and AI. So which includes the 5,000 AI builder service credits per month and available to buy with now it's with a credit card. So you can try for free trial as well. And the license by flow per flow plan is starting at $500 per 5 flows per month. So you can implement cloud flows, the reserved capacity for unlimited users across your organizations. So requires access to Microsoft Dynamics 365, Microsoft 365 Admin Center with a global administrator or billing administrator roles. So some of the Power Automate plans we can see that in detail, and then the one is the process mining, or you can utilize, visualize, and analyze the processes. And you can utilize in a per user plan, $15 per user per month, yes. And per user plan with unlimited RPA is $40 per user per month, yes. But in a per flow plan, you can't utilize the process mining. The desktop and cloud flow automation, yes, you can utilize some of the process like run cloud flows and automated schedule and instant flows, in which you can run on the per user plan. Yes, you can run that, and you can utilize an per user plan with attend RPA and also per flow plan. And also with a run business process flows, yes, you can run with the per user plan, and per user plan with attend RPA, yes, you can do that, and per flow plan, yes. But in the unattended RPA desktop flows, you can run only from the per user plan with attend RPA, yes. And you can run unattended RPA desktop flows, which is you can add on the per board plan, yeah. And you can infuse AI and with the AI builder with 5,000 service credit, which you can see in the slide. So you can connect data storage and management. You can connect to the data. You can use a pre-built connectors in the per user plan with attend RPA, and also the custom on-premise connectors in the per user plan with attend RPA. The storage and manage data, which you can utilize in the per user plan with attend RPA, create and access custom entities in that. So the use Microsoft Dataverse, you can use per user plan with up to 250 MB database capacity. Then the file capacity is 2 GB per user plan. So whereas the per user plan with attend RPA, you can use up to 250 database capacity and 2 GB file capacity. And also for the per flow plan, the same, the 250 MB database capacity and 1 GB file capacity. And also you can add the Power Automate add-ons like the AI builder. You can utilize, like when you pay $500 per unit per month, you can infuse AI into the processes. You need, if you want to add on this one, so the person should have the global administrator or administrator role to add this to the existing Office 365 or Power Apps. So the unattended RPA and add-ons is $150 per board per month. You can automate backend processes through robotic process automation without requiring interactions from persons. So include 5,000 AI builder service credit per month, and also requires access to the Microsoft 365 Admin Center. It's a global administrator or billing administrator. So the general purpose of this Power Automate capabilities are licensed on a standalone basis. The limited Power Automate capabilities are also included with Power Apps and Office 365 and Dynamics 365. The high level is like as mentioned just now, that the per user allows individuals to create unlimited flows based on their unique needs, and the per user with attend RPA allows individual users to create unlimited flows plus automate legacy applications through RPA and AI. Whereas the per flow plan, minimum purchase of 5 flows, implement flows with reserved capacity that serves unlimited user across an organization. The standalone Power Automate licensing. Customers who require full-fledged general purpose workflows, business process flows, or robotic process automation capabilities should consider the standalone licensing. The Power Automate per user plan. This allows individual users to create and run unlimited workflows, business processes based on their unique needs. The Power Automate per user plan enables enabled flows unlimited. Usage limit is 5,000 daily API request. Power Automate per flow plan. This plan is suitable for departmental scenarios where typically one power user sets up a flow and shares the same with the broader group. So per flow offer details, minimum purchase of 5 units and usage limit is 15,000 daily API request per license flow. Let's move on to the next slide. AI Builder licensing. So what is it? The AI Builder licensing is an add-on to Power Apps, the Power Automate, and the Power Dynamics 365 licenses. You can create AI Builder trial once you have the Power Apps only, Power Automate or Dynamics 365 licenses. That allows you to create a Microsoft Dataverse environment. So what is paid licenses? You need to purchase the AI Builder capacity add-ons for your Power Apps, Power Automate licenses. Then the administrator has to allocate the capacity to any Power Apps environment where you want to use the AI Builder. The purchase AI Builder capacity, which can be purchased by a billing administrator in the Microsoft Power Platform Admin Center, or by using your usual channel, like if you're a Microsoft partner or any CSPs, you can purchase from there. Some Microsoft products include some AI Builder capacity environments. Environment admin can check entitlement in the Power Platform Admin Center in capacity add-ons. When this amount is not enough, you can complete it with one or several AI Builder capacity add-ons. So what is allocate capacity? So once your entitlement to AI Builder capacity is complete, an environment administrator has to allocate the capacity for AI Builder to the environment before you can use it. So how to add the capacity add-ons? You can manage this in a Power Platform Admin Center, where you can click on the capacity. They can start, if you have the GA or billing administrator, you can go on for purchasing the AI Builder. The trial licenses, want to get started using AI Builder. So the premium features for unlimited time with the trial licenses, or use preview features without buying a license at all. So AI Builder trial license you can use for 30 days period. So the AI Builder licenses. So what you get with an AI Builder trial licenses is create and use AI models in any environment or trial or production, and you can store your AI models results in Dataverse. Use AI model in your apps and flows. The AI Builder trial licenses is applicable at the user level, not the environment level. So just to make note of it here. So you can use your trial licenses on multiple environments. Another user would have to start their own trial or paid license to use your model in any environment. And also one more point to remember is when you have an active trial and you are working within an environment that has allocated AI Builder capacity, then you consume the environment allocated capacity, not the trial capacity. Estimate the AI Builder capacity that is right for you. So you can utilize the functionality like the calculator of the AI Builder add-ons in the Microsoft website. So the use cases, like for example, it depends upon the business cases. Like for example, business card reader. So like if you have how many business cards will you process per month? So based on the use cases, you can calculate your AI Builder add-ons and you can purchase that. And also another use case is like category classification, like how many text strings will you analyze per user per month, like per month. So based on that calculation, you can just calculate it and add the AI Builder capacity. The next slide is Microsoft 365 premium connectors and developer environments. So as I mentioned previously in the previous slide, that most of the Office 365 E3 and E5 licenses have this. You can see when you are, if you are like building administrator, like global administrator, or if you are allocating the license to the users, you can see on the first the sales user, you can see the common data service, which is now Dataverse. So like these ones where you can see this the Power Apps and Dataverse. So Microsoft 365 licenses for if you have the E3 license, which is 28.10 points per user per month. So which you will get the Power App, Power Automate, and Power Virtual Agent, which is included in the E3, and the Dataverse for Teams also included in the E3 tenant. And whereas Microsoft 365 E5 subscription licensing, so which is 48 pounds 10 pence per user per month, the Power App, Power Automate, and Power Virtual Agent is included, and the Dataverse for Teams included. So the Microsoft 365 F3, which is 6 pounds per user per month, this is annual commitment, and there is a restrictions apply for this Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power Virtual Agent for this type of subscription. If you utilize the Microsoft 365 F3. And Dataverse for Teams, yes, it is included. So if there is a small customer utilizing the Microsoft 365 F3, and they can start using the Dataverse for Teams. And whereas the standalone Power Apps and Power Automate plan essentially includes the all premium on-premise and custom connectors. The premium connectors, the Power App developer plan gives you a free development environment to build and test with Power Apps, Power Automate, and Microsoft Dataverse. You can start creating your own developer plan. So they have rebranded this community plan to the developer plan with enhanced features like the ability to share apps within the team members for development and testing purposes. Increased capacity allocations, yes, and ability to create more environment to support application lifecycle management, which is coming soon, the scenario. So the developer plan have some of the features like the create and test apps. Here you can create unlimited apps for developer and test purpose. You can share apps. You can use Dataverse, yes. Model your data using Dataverse, yes. Enterprise grade administration of the environment and user policies, yes. The connectivity, you connect to Office 365, Dynamics 365, and other connectors as well. So the Dataverse, you can create and run applications for a Power Platform, Dynamics 365, Teams or standalone using the .NET SDK and OData APIs. Also you can model your data in Dataverse, yes. The management, add co-workers as environment makers and admins, yes, in the developer plan. So what are the capacity limits for the developer environment? So the per run flow per runs per month is a 750 limit, yeah, and database size is 2 GB for the developer environment. The capacity and entitlement of the developer environment, whether used or not, doesn't contribute to your company's overall quota. What next? Planning the processes. So as you can see, there are hundreds of thousands of companies who are implementing the Power Apps and Dynamics 365 first-party apps. and they dream of the apps, and they utilizing the Microsoft ecosystem and creating the Power Apps. Like Coca-Cola, H&M, Toyota. So there's a few clients you can see. There are a number of companies who are implementing the Power Apps and utilizing the Power Platform and the cheap licensing also. So you can dream and design and develop. Start now, I think. Yeah. So there are some useful links for the licensing guide here. Microsoft, you can get this from Microsoft documentation, or you can download from Microsoft Power Platform licensing guide PDF. So these are the useful links. I think I've finished. Thank you very much giving this opportunity for Power Community in this Dataverse Summit.
Thank you there, Marla. Hello there. Thank you, Marla. So there are a few questions, as you can see in the chat. So I think there's a question about Jorge is asking a question about capacity or add-on pricing. I think for some reason, Marla, your slides didn't actually display the actual breakdown of the prices. So there are quite a few questions about that. So Jorge is asking about the capacity add-on pricing. So if you could just explain that, please.
Capacity add-on for which one?
Jorge, which product are you asking the capacity for? Is it for Power Apps or is it for Dataverse? Dataverse.
Dataverse for. Let me check one second. So they can when they purchase the Power App, they get to the Dataverse automatically, no?
Sorry?
Sorry, the capacity add-ons.
Yes, Jorge's asking about the capacity add-ons for Dataverse. Capacity for Dataverse environments, yeah.
Yeah, they can add 1 GB increment, yeah? 1 GB increment at a time.
That's correct. And there's different types in there. You can acquire the database incrementations for the different variations available for the Dataverse. So now you can acquire database logs. You can acquire
for the file capacity.
file storage. I think, Jorge, is that what you're asking? So the price that's required for the database, the price that's required for the log storage, and then the price that's required for the file storage. Is that what you're asking for, Jorge?
Yeah, as in the slide itself, there is a new capacity like the database storage capacity, file capacity, and log capacity. So you can purchase that.
So do you have anything to show on that, Mala?
Let me check one second.
Jorge, just so you're aware, we do have a session coming up focused on the database. So we will be going into the Dataverse database in more detail. So what Jorge is asking is how much is it for 1 GB? That's what Jorge is asking.
So here it is. You can see that the 1 GB. I don't have the specific cost with me right now, but I'm happy to share. Just to connect with me and on LinkedIn, and just to share with you the information. Yeah, how much it costs for 1 GB. Yeah.
So I agree with Puchakelia's answer. It's around $40, $35, $40 the last time I saw Jorge. That's how much it normally costs for a Dataverse 1 GB. So it's quite expensive. For the log files and for the storage is a lot cheaper. It's way much cheaper. But the Dataverse database storage, but we have a whole session on that anyway. So there's lots of other questions. So let's answer them all. So there's a question going back. So there's a question by Klaus asking about the Power Apps license. Do you also need a license for D365 apps you connect to in the app? So he's also saying the team member to view data or other data changes. So it's a question around how can users, what license are they required to access D365 apps?
So if they want to access their Dynamics 365 first party apps, they need to purchase the license. Yeah, they need to. There is no way like. So you need to purchase the licenses. Yeah.
So to be specific, Klaus, you need to purchase the Dynamics 365 license for those apps.
Yes.
Dynamics 365 apps are licensed for Dynamics alone. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's be clear about that as part of the licensing.
Yeah.
However, there are certain things that you can access with a Power Apps license, Klaus. Okay. So you can't access the app. So for example, the customer service app or the sales accelerator app or the marketing app, you can't access them without a Dynamics 365 app. However,
Yes.
what you can do is access the data with a Power App license. However, be wary, there is a restriction. There are restricted entities which will prevent you, and you cannot use and access those restricted entities. Let me give you an example, Klaus. So, for example, you've got the customer service Dynamics 365 app implemented, and you've got a group of users who are using that app. However, there's a group of users who are not really needing to use that app, okay? But there's they want to access maybe some of the customer data, okay? Now, they can actually just use a Power App to access that customer data, as long as they're not actually doing operations on the restricted entity. So let me explain the restricted entity, guys. So the restricted entity is essentially there are several restricted entities that are purely licensed to Dynamics 365. So the case entity is one of them. However, a Power Apps user can create a case. They can actually update their own case. That's what you can do with a Power Apps license. What you can't do is, number one, is update someone else's case, okay? And you can't do that type of collaboration on a case with a Power Apps license. So let's be clear about that, Klaus. I hope that answers your question. Okay, next question. There are more questions here. Let's take a look. We've still got 5 minutes. The next question is Eduardo is saying the $5 turns the SaaS platform for SaaS offering into a new product slogan. Okay. So the next question is in relation to Joe Scully is asking, is there a Power BI premium per user account free with the developer plan? I know there is a Power BI Pro license.
Yeah.
That would be great for testing.
Yeah.
So that's a question, Mala.
I think yes, they can have the Power BI premium. They can utilize the free license, premium per user account, free developer plan.
Okay, Eduardo, please, can you review what you can and cannot do with Power Apps for Office 365, included in many Microsoft 365 plans? I think the main thing to take away from that, Eduardo, is all about premium connectors. Mala, are you able to share your slide on premium connectors for Office 365? So there was a slide on that, I believe, whereby that's the main restriction, Eduardo. So in short, guys, this is the Dataverse Summit. In short, Dataverse is a premium connector. Okay, which means that's the main limitation with the Office 365 Power Apps license. You can't use premium connectors. Dataverse is a premium connector. Therefore, that rules out Dataverse for using with the Microsoft 365 license. There you go. Do you have anything to add to that, Mala?
Yes, yeah. So you're absolutely correct that. So the premium connector which comes within the Power Apps, it's premium connectors. That's absolutely correct. Yeah.
Okay. Simone is asking, a client has Office 365 for their company staff. Can they use Power Apps without an extra license? So yes, Simeon, they can. However, you don't have access to the premium connectors such as Dataverse. So please bear that in mind. You'd have to acquire one of the actual Power Apps per app or Power Apps per user license to be able to do that.
So they should have at least an E3 or E5 license to use the Power Apps or Power Automate Power Virtual Agent, and also at least they should have the Microsoft 365 F3 account user, the basic account, so that they can utilize it.
Right, Carsten's actually mentioned something interesting here. Carsten's saying you have to remember that individual user licenses, except Microsoft 365, comes with Dataverse entitlements. Essentially what he's saying is that Power Apps per app and Power Apps per user comes with Dataverse connections apart from Microsoft 365. So it's basically reiterating what we said earlier. Okay, great. Jorge is asking the question. Okay, yeah, so great. So Jorge's happy with his answers. Fantastic, guys. I think, first of all, Mala, thank you for that session. I know it was a lot to cover, so thank you for doing that. There is a question by Rory. Can you upgrade a developer environment to a full production environment? Okay. In short, Rory, no. A developer environment is a developer environment. You can provision a sandbox or you can provision a production environment. I've never seen any way you can convert a developer environment into a production or a sandbox. Mala, Carsten, please correct me if I'm wrong, but that's not the way the developer environments work. You have to explicitly provision a sandbox or a production environment. Okay, one more minute left. Hello, Mala. Sorry, do you have any comments for that?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. So you can't change the developer environment to the subscription, the full subscription. So in order to have this, if you want to convert, you can have the environment, the sandbox or a production, and you can utilize that way. Yeah, we are absolutely correct.
So Vincenzo is asking, the Power Apps developer plan can create, where's it gone? A sandbox or another environment other than default. So in short, Vincenzo, the developer plan is your basically your environment, is your tenant, yeah, in a way, your instance to work in. That plan doesn't create another environment unless you're given by the Office 365 administrator permissions to create environments. Okay. So Mala, do you have anything to add to that one?
Yeah, so absolutely, you're right. Yeah.
Okay. So final question by Rory, which is, do the sandbox environments count as part of your overall capacity? So Rory, capacity is measured at the tenant level, right? So
Yes.
capacity, database capacity is at tenant level. So all your database capacity is all rolled up based on what's being used at tenant level. And that's why the Center of Excellence toolkit, which we'll be covering later on today, as well as the capacity center in admin.pal platform, is very important to monitor your environments. And Carsten has answered in short regarding the upgrading of the development environments. No, it's not designed to act as a developer. It's designed to act as a developer environment only. Develop app should be moved to production environments via solution frameworks and ALM capabilities. Fantastic, guys. We have reached the end of this session. So I want to thank you once again, Mala. Thank you, Carsten, for your input. Thank you, everyone, for your questions. I know licensing is a very heavy topic. I'm hoping, and I do feel we have answered all those questions. Mala, feel free to share any links in the chat, any resources that people can go back to answer their questions. I think the references to the Microsoft Docs would be a good place, to licensing guide and anything like that. Okay, well, thank you again, Mala, for that.
Good to be here. Thanks for accepting me for this Power Community session. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much, Mala. Fantastic. Okay, so we're running over time, so let's move on